With the market changing this fast, anything is possible at this point. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm coming to you from my favorite hallway, hence the reason the audio is not like my usual audio setup. Now, Black Myth Wukong, the developers have come out after winning a few awards and have teased more content coming down the pipeline. I think it's very interesting at the end of the day because this game was massively successful. Many aspects to it that really was the best game to position itself and be able to obliterate any sales metric that you can find anywhere this year, save maybe Call of Duty might come close or might take the cake. We'll see. With Game Pass numbers and all of the above, Call of Duty is in a very unique position, but I think Game Pass was actually there to serve those who weren't going to buy Call of Duty anyways. A whole different conversation, but again, we'll wait for some sales numbers to possibly maybe, trickle down our way and we can figure out what's going on. Insider Gaming writes, Black Myth Wukong will have some surprises later this year, says director. The article written by Tom Henderson says Black Myth Wukong director Feng Ji has said that the game will receive some surprises later this year. The news comes as the Golden Joystick Awards, where Black Myth Wukong won Game of the Year. Ji commented during the acceptance speech, there might just be some surprises waiting for you later this year. Some have jumped to the conclusion that this announcement could be a port to the Xbox platform. That port exists. The developers did say that they're trying to get it to their own standards. Some believe otherwise. I do. And we've seen conversations from Richard Ledbetter. We saw Jess Corden. We saw Paul Tassi pretty much put their own journalistic integrity on the line. I mean, call it what you want. I disagree with Paul Tassi a lot. I disagree with Jez even on some points. I remember even in a Stalker, interview, there were aspects where I was like, some things were probably weird. Digital Foundry, they're more on the technical side, which was weird that Richard Ledbetter actually came out, who basically his main focus is on the technical aspects. And he talked about different nuances with different kinds of deals that could happen. So it's still, a back and forth. I can understand if somebody believes otherwise. The Microsoft statement's also there. But again, this could be maybe that they're coming from, the position where they want to announce it and get the Xbox side out. Game came out in August. It's not exactly 6 months. Could be till the end of the year. Could be that we're going to get the announcement and then in the 6-month window, the game drops for Xbox. But like I told the Xbox players, if you want to play Black Myth Wukong, it's still going to come to Xbox. You're more than likely going to get it on a sale. But meanwhile, keep yourself busy with Indiana Jones. Keep yourself busy with Call of Duty's, campaign. I'm playing that. It's a lot of fun. I've only played like 3 chapters. I'm taking my time. Fine wine, people. I'm just letting you know. And how much did I pay? A small subscription fee because I ain't going to buy COD. Just letting you all know. Indiana Jones is coming. Not buying it, but I'm going to be playing it as well. So when you think about this, they said this, which is entirely possible. But G's comment of a surprise came after he said that you players might have already completed our game, suggesting that the surprise is for those who already played. This, in my opinion, is actually good news. The Xbox version is already, a thing. They've already seen the ESRB rating, and I'm certain that there are a lot of people who, at the end of the day, would benefit from the game coming out on Xbox. But ladies and gentlemen of the Xbox community, I know, for the most part, you've, put a lot of, emphasis into how this game skipped Xbox. You allowed for PlayStation hyper fans to gaslight you that it was a Series S when Richard Ledbetter and the team at Digital Foundry put together a PC build that runs like the Series S, and the game was able to capture at least 30 FPS in some instances. I mean, we're showing you all the hardware sides. The PS5 Pro is, being dragged through the hardware gauntlet as well, just like the Series S got dragged through the hardware gauntlet. But many refuse to believe that, there's the likelihood that it was not the console itself that was doing it, which we now know wasn't. The developers had just not prioritized the console port. They'd always talked about, it's multiple SKUs, Xbox failed, why'd they bring the Series S? You allowed for, PlayStation, well, in your own case anyways, I don't allow for that. I basically follow what the data says. I follow as much as I can where the truth will lead. When you think about it nonetheless, though, you have to also admit that back somewhere, PlayStation is, doing their thing. Maybe they money had in the game, maybe they didn't, but Xbox is focused on bringing games to the Xbox players. And those who are on PC like myself, who come into the Game Pass conversation, we're going to be seeing Wu-Chang, Fallen Feathers, make its way to the Xbox platform. To me, I think that this is a very interesting perspective, and the developers would be better served if they actually did bring their game to the PC platform at some point before this game's launch. Again, many players might still buy Wukong. It's to their benefit that other people buy Wukong, and people are now used to, their brand. Because that's the thing about Wukong. There are two other games that are actually, teased that are going to be following this saga. So they need to be able to ensure that those two games are positioned to meet a broader audience. And so that's another thing into consideration as well that you have to think about. And PlayStation might try to money hat those two games, maybe for a time exclusive, but now they've seen the potential of their game. So that fee is definitely going to go up. Meanwhile, other developers are cooking in the background. And this is where the Xbox player has an advantage. You got to be an optimist. If you've been an Xbox player all this while, I don't know why you would now be a pessimist because you stuck through thick and thin. And so for you to basically now flail on me, the PC gamer, that's trying to bring some sense into this conversation, right? I have no dog in this fight. Your console could vaporize from the surface of the earth and I wouldn't be bothered. But I've seen that there's a lot of weird stuff in the gaming conversation. So hear me out. It will not matter what games are money hatted by PlayStation. It doesn't matter. Developers who want to make money, who are interested in serving gamers, will consider every time their Xbox pipeline because it is critical to their success. The industry is so saturated with video games right now that anybody who's playing games and not bringing their games to as broad an audience as they possibly can will eat dirt. Black Myth Wukong is more successful, multiple times more successful on PC than it was on PlayStation itself. And even if it came out on Xbox, it would have still been more successful on PC. That shows you that this so-called hold that people had thought that PlayStation had in the industry, it's not there. It never was going to stay there. Sure, maybe at the time when games that were coming out were under 10,000 games a year, but now that we're pushing even 18,000 games in 2024, imagine what that number would look like in 2025 going onwards. God willing, everything is fine. You're going to see a lot of developers not touch exclusivity with one platform holder anymore. Also, publishing pipelines are very easy to deal with these days. There are many other companies that will be happy to publish your game for you that don't require you to maintain exclusivity. That's also another avenue that I'm sure developers are going to be leveraging. So Black Myth Wukong, the developers, maybe they made the best decision for their game. Maybe they made a decision that they thought was, optimal for them. At the end of the day, even the writer of this article, Tom Henderson, says, of course, an Xbox announcement is entirely possible. But G's comment suggests that it's likely additional content. And later this year implies that the announcement could be made during the Game Awards, December 13th, unless Game Science opts to announce it themselves. Black Myth Wukong is one of the most successful games of 2024, selling over 20 million units in its first month. The game received generally favorable reviews on Aggregator, Metacritic, and PlayStation 5. Very interesting. We'll talk about this pretty soon. I'm very interested to hear what your opinions are. Let me know them in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.